All right, so let's proceed with software installation. Okay, so first you will need to have JDK and Maven installed. If you already do, just make sure that the version of JDK you have is 11 or later, especially since recently the Selenium folks made an announcement saying that any version older than JDK 11 will not be supported. Okay, so if you have JDK 8, just go ahead and uninstall JDK 8 and reinstall JDK 11 or later, and you should be good to go. Okay, if you don't uninstall it, your computer may get confused as to which JDK to point to. All right, but here's the thing, folks. We pasted a link in the description of this video where you will have step-by-step instructions on how to install JDK and Maven for both Mac and Windows. Okay, so follow those steps. If we need to update anything, we'll go ahead and update that, right? But just refer to the document shared with you and you should be good to go. If you need help though, you can also contact us and we can do this installation for you. It would just take about around 30 minutes to an hour, okay? Depending on what computer you have. Okay, so to confirm which version of Java you have, if you're curious, you can just open your command prompt on Windows or any bash terminal. For example, if you're using Mac, you can just use your terminal and just type in Java space -version and hit enter, and you will see the version of Java you have. Right here, I have JDK 11. Okay, so I can see this for Windows. The installation is different than Mac, but I'm going to talk about that in just a few moments. Okay. So if you are a Chroma Tech student, you should already have everything installed and configured. Okay, now let's talk about JDK real quick. JDK is acronym for Java Development Kit. It's actually a software development environment that provides the tools and resources necessary for developing, compiling, and running Java applications. The JDK also includes a very important component that's called the JRE, which is a Java runtime environment, which is required to run Java programs. Okay. Now, if this is giving you a headache, don't worry about it. This is just something to know, right? But we do cover these topics in our course Java 11 for Champions if you really want to know how Java works and how it runs and so forth. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about installing JDK. So for Windows, it's a little bit different. For both Mac and Windows, you actually need to create an Oracle account. Okay, we'll share this link with you as well. But you'll create an account. Once you create an account, you have to visit the Java Archive downloads page. Okay, here's the link provided to that page. For Windows operating system, download the Windows x64 installer. Okay, download the executable file. It's a very easy install. You just have to download it, run the installer, and you should be good to go. Okay, that's all you have to do. Just note that this link will take you to the JDK 11 downloads page. Okay. Now for Mac, it's a little bit different. You still need to create an Oracle account. Once you create an Oracle account, you'll visit the downloads page for JDK 11. But if you have a Mac OS with Apple chip, download the Mac OS ARM 64 DMG installer, the one that has the keyword ARM. Okay, and that's if you have one of the newer Macs with the Apple chips. If you have a Mac with an Intel chip, meaning one of the older Macs, just download the Mac OS 64 DMG installer, the one without the ARM keyword. Okay, they're both DMG files, so they should install without any issues. If you download the wrong one though, the incorrect one, your Mac will tell you that this installer is not supported. So that should give you a hint as to which to download. Okay, installing Maven. So it's going to be different for both Mac OS and Windows. Okay, first let's talk about what Maven is. Maven is a popular open source build automation and dependency management tool primarily used for Java projects. Okay, it simplifies the building, packaging, and managing of Java applications by providing a standardized approach and a set of conventions. Now, you can download Maven by visiting this link. For example, if you have Windows operating system, just at the time of this video, I'll show you. Let me go ahead and open this link here. You'll be prompted to the Maven downloads page. Okay, and for Windows, I recommend you download the Apache Maven 3.9.3 -bin.zip file. Okay, it's gonna download as a zip file. Download this. But then you need to extract it and you need to create a Maven folder in the program files of your computer. But here's the thing, we have step-by-step instructions in the document that we're going to provide to you. Follow those step-by-step instructions. We have screenshots there, so you should be good to go. Okay, don't skip any of those steps. It gets a little tricky because you do need to set your environment variables and also for Java as well. Okay, so that's important, especially for Windows. Now, if you have issues though, just reach out to us. We'll do it for you. Just connect with us. We'll schedule a time. We'll get this out of the way, and then we can move forward. For Mac OS, installing Maven, we recommend you install Maven through Brew. Okay, so first you will need to install Brew. Once Brew is installed, then you can install Maven via the terminal using Brew. Okay, that's the easiest way to do it for Macs. It does take a while. You have to download for all these binary files to download and so on, but it's very simple, very easy. Again, follow the step-by-step instructions and you should be good to go. Okay, again, reach out to us, leave a comment, reach out to us to support@chromatechacademy.com. Just ping us, follow us on Instagram, DM us, whatever. Just reach out to us and we'll schedule a time to connect. Okay, so installing Visual Studio Code. I provided this link here for you guys. You guys can go to the downloads page, right? And once you do, if you have Windows, you can just download this installer here. If you have Mac, I would like to make a couple comments here. And this is based on the time that I recorded this video, which was early 2023. Okay, again, things could change. If you have an older Mac, download the Intel chip download version. Okay, if you have one of the newer Macs, download the Apple Silicon version here as well. I downloaded the universal one on my Mac Studio and I was getting a lot of issues sometimes. Okay, like the project wouldn't build or my VS Code would freeze and then crash. I did research, I looked into it, but once I downloaded the Apple Silicon version to my Mac Studio and my MacBook Pro that I just recently got, I had no issues. Okay, so download the Apple Silicon version and you should be good to go. I'm sure they'll make some updates to this. Maybe there's some bug with the universal version, but just a heads up there for you guys. Okay, now once you download VS Code, I'm going to open VS Code here. Okay, and again, I'm using a Windows operating system. I'm going to use Windows for the remaining of the course, but I will make some comments if Mac OS is different. Okay, so this is VS Code. Now, I already had VS Code and I opened it. If you are opening VS Code for the first time, you may see a tab called Get Started. Okay, that Get Started tab, you'll see it every time you open VS Code unless you choose not to see it when you open Visual Studio Code. Okay, it tells you a bit about VS Code. You can kind of create projects right away and so on. Okay, instead, I don't have it here. Let me just talk a bit about these modules here. This is right here is the Project Explorer module. If you click on it, you'll see a few options. For example, if I click on it, you'll see here that I can open a folder or open a project, or I can create a Java project. However, you may not see this right now if you just installed VS Code. That is because we need to install some Java extensions. Okay, so I'm going to go right here to the extensions module here, and you can kind of see the extensions that I have right here in the search bar. This is where you're going to search up extensions. So let me go to the first one that I have. The first one, you need to install this Cucumber. You don't need to install this, but in this course, we are going to be automating Cucumber scenarios and building a Cucumber test automation framework. So you might as well just install it. You can just type in Cucumber like this, and you'll have different plugins of Cucumber actually. Make sure to download this one, okay, the one with the verified checkmark from cucumber.io. You won't really have any issues with this. Okay, so install it. Your computer may ask you to, or your VS Code may tell you to restart VS Code. Okay, but first let's install the other extensions. I have 15 extensions installed. You don't need all of them. I'll tell you which ones you need. So you need an extension pack for Java. So when you actually look up extension pack for Java, okay, like this, you'll realize that it's a pack. It's an extension pack. So when you install this extension pack, you'll actually download a few extensions at the same time. So this extension would get added here: the language support for Java by Red Hat, debugger for Java, test runner for Java, Maven for Java, project manager for Java, and IntelliCode. Okay, so all of those extensions will download once you download the extension pack for Java. Okay, so you need Cucumber, you need this debugger for Java you'll get when you download the extension pack for Java. You don't need the dependency analytics. You can skip this one. You also don't need Eclipse key map. I used to use Eclipse a lot. So if you're familiar with Eclipse and you remember how to format code, by downloading Eclipse key map, I can format my code the same way that I could do with Eclipse, and use also Eclipse keyboard shortcuts with VS Code. You can also install an IntelliJ key map as well if you're coming from IntelliJ. The extension pack for Java, we would install it. This IntelliCode would come with the extension pack for Java. You don't need this IntelliCode API uses examples. This one you would already have. You don't need live server. This you would have installed already. You don't need this prettier code formatter. Maybe at some point later in the course, I will talk about these extensions if we use them. Okay, this one would get installed for you already. Go ahead and install this one, Red Hat Commons. Okay, we'll go ahead and talk about this one later though. This one would be installed with the extension pack for Java, and install this XML one. We won't be working with XML files just yet, but later when we start building our test automation framework, we will use some XML files. Okay, so and actually this would also help because we're going to create a Maven project, and there's an important file there called the pom.xml. So this would help with compile the project. Okay, so install all of these extensions and then close VS Code and open it again. Okay, so I'll go ahead and close it. I'll go ahead and open VS Code, and then you should see these two options here. You should see the create Java project option after installing the extension pack for Java. Okay, but I'd like to note again that you won't see this if you don't install the extensions first. Okay, so go ahead and have all this, get all this configured, and I'll see you guys in the next video.